You're watching ABC.
K2, the station more and more people are watching. Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport.
The man is incredible.
The thrill of victory.
Absolutely the best.
And the agony of defeat.
Oh, look at him go! Oh, baby. Oh, no!
This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Today on The Hardwood.
The Duke University basketball program has experienced its share of success. The current Blue Devils, led by the incomparable trio of Williams, Boozer, and Dunleavy, are off to the best start in school history. Are they Coach K's greatest team ever? Duke and Georgia Tech next on ABC. Jason Williams probably happy he's done with Florida State this year. He struggled against them, but 21 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists per game, and that's why just about everybody agrees he's the best college basketball player out there. Welcome to UBS Payne Weber College Basketball on ABC. John Saunders alongside of Digger Phelps. This is a game Duke should not look past because if they play down to the level of the competition, they have struggled at times. But they probably are looking ahead. There's quite a stretch there.
Well, we got to take a look at Duke's schedule. The next 4 games, 3 are on the road. This is game 1 against Georgia Tech, and they already beat Georgia Tech. So you've got to look at the turnover problem for Georgia Tech in game 1. Now, Thursday, Valentine's Day, the only thing read about that day is NC State comes and plays at Duke. And then they have the payback games where they're looking to go. They have to play at Maryland on the 17th and then back at Wake Forest on the 21st. So I thought they're a little tired, a little ragged. Only 27 points the first half against Florida State the other night. But they're ready to play. They're reloaded, and let's get it going. That's what Coach K's selling.
And you can bet the Terps have that one marked on the calendar as well. Now, earlier today, a game that's just about done. Cincinnati at Wake Forest. Darius Singila there puts it in and gets it down to a 2-point game. Steve Logan then.
Steve Logan really makes things happen for the Bearcats. Reads, if your hands are low, he'll drill that 3. He gets that one there to put them up 6.
Cincinnati on their next possession. Field Williams shows his range well beyond the arc. Cincinnati's lead is up to 9. And then Logan, yeah, I can score, I can also dish as well. Jason Maxiel goes up, gets the lob, and jams it down. A 1-point game at halftime. Cincinnati began to pull away.
Well, you got to look at Cincinnati making this happen up 10. But Josh Howard did not play today for Wake Forest. They're a different team without him. He sprained his ankle the end of the Carolina game the other night when Wake won.
Kentucky's only a game over 500 in conference play.
They go on a 16-3 run early in this game, just blowed open early on the road.
And UCLA in a battle with Villanova.
Well, they have the big win over Southern Cal at the buzzer, have to go on the road, and having a letdown right now. Nova needs a win.
All right, let's remind everybody, coming up after the game, 4:30 Eastern time, we move to Hawaii. It's the AFC, NFC Pro Bowl game. When we come back, Brent Musburger and Dick Vitale will join you. It's Duke and Georgia Tech coming up next.
So what do you play? Tenor sax. I play a bad guitar myself.
Yeah?
I mean bad in the bad sense.
As long as you enjoy it.
You make a good living?
Well, I do what I love. In the 43 countries.
43?
Yeah.
You want to take next year off? Well, no, I know you, Bob. I know you're serious.
Check this out. I'm going to lunch.
Well, it's not like we didn't anticipate this. Listen, let me talk to your accountant about the tax implications. We'll go from there.
That stock sector could have gone up or down hard. It was just too risky for you.
Thanks for the heads up on that one.
Sure. So how's your dad doing?
Well, that's what I really wanted to talk to you about.
Here, Casanova.
Zima.
What good is beauty
if it's only skin deep. The new Camry, reinvented so it's sleeker, faster, roomier, better. You're going to want one. See your local Toyota dealer.
ABC Sunday, starting 9/8 Central. The one night where two of television's best dramas are all new.
I want you to kill them all.
Quentin Tarantino in a new Alias. Then 10/9 Central. The brutal attack. Now the heart-stopping fallout. A new practice after a new Alias. Sunday starting 9/8 Central on ABC.
A sellout crowd at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia, for an ACC showdown. The Duke Blue Devils, #1 in the nation at 21-1, take on Georgia Tech. You can see that Duke leads the ACC with a conference record of 9-1, but Georgia Tech is pulling itself up by the bootstraps. 3 wins in a row, and they are now 3-7 in the ACC. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Dick Vitale. You know, Dick, these two schools met earlier up at Duke. Bad time to be playing the Blue Devils. They were coming off their only loss of the year. And, of course, they hammered Georgia Tech. What about today's environment? Sellout crowd on hand. They're going to rock this place if Georgia Tech gets started. What's your feeling about this?
Well, you know, Paul's posse is ready to explode on the baseline. All the students, they got to protect the basketball, #1. They got to make sure they don't turn it over. They turned it over 29 times, and that will not get it done against Duke. #2, they better rebound the basketball and out-rebound Duke. And #3, their goal is to attack Carlos Boozer to try to get him in foul trouble. Those are the 3 things they want to achieve. But can they? That's another story.
Our coach Krzyzewski told us a short time ago that this team is a little bit on cruise control right now. In other words, let's cruise through February and let's get to March. And on the other side, Paul Hewitt, his second year here at Georgia Tech, he's done an outstanding job with the program here in Atlanta. This is a wonderful young coach, had great success up at Siena, and of course was at one time one of the candidates for the Notre Dame head coaching job. So here we are, Duke, and they're traveling. Dark uniforms, trimmed in blue, ready to go. Not all the stars, by the way, are in Philadelphia. Some of the NBA stars from these two schools are in attendance here today. We spotted Kenny Anderson, formerly of Georgia Tech. There's your 3 officials. Scagliata is our lead man today, and the Devils go with Boozer, fouled, and it go the other way on the offensive foul call by Les Jones.
Les Jones with a quick offensive foul on a move to the basket. As you look at Kenny Anderson, who used to wheel his magic here back in 1990. They went to the Final Four with a lethal 3. Mr. Oliver and Dennis Scott.
Ivy Crimmins is the head coach, recruited Kenny. Later, Stephon Marbury. Boy, he did such a great job revitalizing the Georgia Tech basketball fortunes, and now they're trying to come along under Hewitt, and they'll open up with the 3 ball. And B.J. Elder knocks it down to put the Ramblin' Wreck ahead.
And that's what gets Paul's posse into a game. You make those open threes, you'll create some momentum and get this crowd into it.
It was 8-0 in Cameron before you could blink. Tech turned it over in that first game 5 times in its first 8 possessions. Here today, they hit a 3. They get an offensive foul. Now they get a turnover. So just what the home team wants.
That's the way you want to start a basketball game, Brent. In that game, after that Sunday shock losing to Florida State, it was over early in that game. They came out so emotional. That was the game that Mike Krzyzewski, he had the crowd going crazy, got hit with a tee. It was incredible. That was the handshake after the game.
Tom, at the beginning. His wife, Mickey, here in attendance. She travels to many of the Duke games. Duhan looking to get Boozer off inside. They double him down low, and Duhan hits the baseline, and now Jones misfires on a 3, and Boozer underneath draws the first Tech foul.
Carlos Boozer's been sensational inside. He really has played well for Duke. He gives them such a post presence on that interior, and that really helps them with their perimeter game as well, because it spreads the defense, and that certainly makes Williams and Dunleavy and Duhan that much more effective.
At the perimeter, the Devils come back, and Dante is now 0 for 2. And tracking it down is Tony Akins here on the floor now for Coach Hewitt.
Well, Duke didn't play well in that first half against Florida State.
Lewis misfires badly on a 3-ball.
He's been shooting the ball better. They've been getting him a lot more looks the last 5-6 games. Marvin Lewis.
Jones on the attack, took it to the rack that time and put Duke on the scoreboard. Quickly at the other end, Lewis, but he's covered by Williams.
He's an explosive player, Dante Jones.
Steal, but getting it right back is Akins.
Akins is the key to this game for Georgia Tech. He has to really play well.
Nice little touch by Ed Nelson, the 6'7" freshman who's averaging 8 points a game. Georgia Tech starts out shooting 2 of 3 from the floor. Now another Duke turnover. This is not, repeat, not a good start. Meanwhile, a rambling wreck. Oh, that would have brought the house down.
I like Nelson. He's a tough kid on the inside. Used to play one-on-one with his dad, who's 6'1" and about 240 and a football player. His mom, Donna, used to say, hey, they used to come home with all bruises on him. He's in your territory down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, playing St. Thomas Aquinas High School.
Dunleavy's jump pass inside to Boozer and one.
They've made a commitment, Duke, that they are going inside, and that shows the great versatility. And I know you love Dunleavy as well. He's got great vision, good passing ability for 6'9". There's the diagonal look inside to Boozer, who finishes and scores. Take a look at Dunleavy. That's a great size. He looks right over the top of any perimeter player. It was either going to be Dunleavy or Casey Jacobson. And when Dunleavy committed, Jacobson went to Stanford. What about his performance the other day in beating Oregon? 41 points in overtime. He has now become, without a doubt, one of my Super Six in America.
Ismail Muhammad checks in, along with Luke Schencher, the 7-foot freshman on the floor for Tech. So they hit the bench right away.
Schencher's a kid that's got some good skills from out of Australia. Was out with a broken foot. Missed a lot of action.
And Dunleavy fronts him and took the ball away from him that time. That was the 7-footer Dick was talking about.
Poor
and
pass.
Now the Devils come back, foul before the shot.
That was a poor pass, Brent, trying to get it inside to Schencher. You got to throw the high lob to a kid 7 foot. He was so effective against Chris Lang when they beat North Carolina. See, he throws down a flat pass. You got to throw it over the top of Dunleavy.
Duke looking for the lead.
Trying to match up out of that 2-3. Jason coming off.
Williams' first shot misfires into the hands of Akins and is knocked away by Duhan into the hands of Dunleavy. Duhan fires it in low to Boozer and offensive foul. With Dick Vitale, I'm Brett Musburger. We're in Atlanta, Georgia, and the Ramblin' Wreck with a 1-point lead over Duke. 5-4 and 16:50 to go here in the first half of the game. Both teams have turned it over twice here in the early going.
Jason coming off one of his worst performances against Florida State. He was 3 for 13, scored 7 points.
Offensive foul on B.J. Elder, the 6'3" freshman.
I like him as well. They got some good-looking young players. When you talk about Muhammad and Elder and Nelson and Schencher, see the charge right there. There's Elder. He's a big, strong perimeter player. Jones did a great job defensively, but that is his strength. He's added defense to that Duke lineup.
For the lead, and one. Boozer back on the free throw line with Duke ahead for the first time today, 6-5.
You know, he went through a stretch, Carlos Boozer. 6 games, averaging 23 points a game and 12 rebounds a game. Hey, is that bad as your third option when you think about having maybe the best player in America in Williams, the second best player maybe in Dunleavy, and then you got Mr. Boozer? And we haven't talked about Dave Jones and Duhan, Mr. Musburger.
Exactly, 6 fouls on the Ramblin' Wreck here in the early going. Casey Sanders will check in for Duke at the buzzer. Boozer sits, and Sanders now will take a shot at the low block here for Krzyzewski.
Well, you know, Duke's going to get everybody's biggest hit, just like Notre Dame in football for years, the Yankees in baseball. Everybody wants a piece of the champ.
Notice, folks, he mentioned Notre Dame rather than Florida, Florida State, or Miami. Myself, I opt for the Sunshine State. But that's okay. That's okay. Akins pounds it in low now to Schencher, who will operate in the lane off the glass. Wouldn't go down. A rebound, Dunleavy.
He's got some good skills down there, that low post, played on the Australian national team.
Duhan misfires, rebound, and a foul against Duke.
I'll tell you one thing. Duke better lace them up today because this Georgia Tech team is determined to put a super effort here.
And this crowd just dearly wants to get behind him. Timeout.
Mike, let's take a look at those reports next Thursday. And Tom, Susan, set up a meeting on Monday. Any other thoughts?
You know, sir, instead of saving money by having only one office pen, we could just go to Staples.
Yeah, with Staples 365 savings, they compare prices and back it up with 110% price match guarantee.
That's sharp thinking.
Hey, client's here. We need the pen.
Low prices on every item, every day. Staples 365 savings. Yeah, we've got that.
You don't need to be a sanitation engineer to know garbage when you see it. Looks like you'll be folding faster than the Argentine army in '82. Oh, well. Buck up, soldier. The night is young. Lucky for you, there's also a lightweight to live. The high life.
Are you tough enough to drive a Tacoma?
Ready? Let's have a listen. It's got to be the puppy chow.
Vets have been recommending Puppy Chow for years. There's no better way to get him off to a strong and healthy start. Purina Puppy Chow brand. Some puppies' needs are different than others. That's why there's Puppy Chow large breed formula to help big dogs develop strong bones and joints.
NCAA basketball presented by UBS Paine Weber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by UBS Paine Weber, because life is a continuing story. And Toyota, get the feeling.
7-5 here in the early going. Duke is favored by about 3 touchdowns in this game in Atlanta. Remember, they won the first meeting by 25.
That's 25, and you ready for this? Georgia Tech scored the last 16 points of the game.
Now here's a guy, Schincher, misfiring again, and into the hands of Dunleavy. Off now to Jason Williams. They've done a good job of keeping him down, but Duhan on the move, left baseline. Great pass to Sanders, but it's turned over, and Schincher picks it up, and ran the floor pretty well that time, the big fella.
It was a great pass, but he didn't step to the ball. Casey's got to step to the ball.
Foul on the shot by Sanders.
Score the basket.
And put it down.
Score the
It was
basket.
goaltending.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Goaltending, no foul. It was goaltending all the way. So score is tied at 7.
I'm going to go to a little half-court trap right now. Changing defenses, trying to get Duke out of any rhythm. I like Paul Ewitt's game plan. He's
Dunleavy's 3. No more, yanks it down for Tech. Some fierce defense being played at both ends of the floor.
Well, this club playing a lot better now. Beat Florida State 77-46. Beat Carolina by 12, and beat Clemson by 24.
Elden was fine. Tech's had some open looks. They really have not shot well so far in this game. On the move is Dante Jones, and Duke regains the lead 9-7.
Wow, it's great having a point guard who's an orchestra leader like Duhan. He made a great no-look over Mr. Williams and got Dante Jones. I love what
great pass for Moore, and then into Schincher for an easy shot. It won't stay down. Yanks off the rebound, however, then almost turned it over, so he's having a terrible time scoring from down low. The 3-ball, yes, Moore boosts Tech into the lead, 10-9.
Well, they're capable of making threes. They've had games where they've made at least a dozen. They got a lot of guys, weapons that can shoot for 3. The Ramblin' Wreck. Right now, 2 for 4.
Duhan comes right back, and it rattles out.
He shot that from Marietta, Georgia, man. That's downtown. Shot selection not really good right now by Duke, Brent.
Aikens on the yo-yo. Sanders better get back. He doesn't belong out there with the guards.
Akins trying to make good decisions now.
Moore on a quick move inside low, and here's Muhammad, and he's fouled.
I like what Akins is doing right now. Rather than dominating the ball and looking for his shot, he's trying to distribute the ball. And that's the art of being a point guard. I thought in the middle of last season, he started to mature as a player. Paul Ewing, he is going to be a star and coach. Take that to the bank. He's got a great class coming in next year. Chris Bosch, 6'11" from Texas, who said no to Florida, and Jared Jack. Both guys could start as freshmen.
Halston Lane, a three-point whiz.
Yeah.
Checks into the game for the first time. Here he is, Nelson, rather, just inside the arc. Hits the two-ball, and Tech leads it 12-9.
I tell you, Nelson is one of those blue-collar guys who's trying to add a little perimeter game as well. Led his high school to the state championship in Fort Lauderdale.
Now, you mentioned Duke. They're only 4 of 10 from the floor. Forced that shot, make it 4 of 11 now as they try to come back. And on the move, Akins, the orchestrator. Here's Lane, misses his first three-ball attempt into Duhan's hands. So it's up and down. If you like fast break basketball, this is a game for you. Knocked out of bounds by Akins.
This is the most lethargic that I've seen Duke look in all the games I've witnessed this year. There seems to be a little bit of a lackadaisical mentality out there, and they better step it up because this club needs business.
Horvath, Nick Horvath checks in for the Blue Devils. Akins will sit down for the first time this game, and B.J. Elder returns for Georgia Tech. So with this tempo, both coaches are using their bench liberally here in the early going. 13:08, as you can see there on the time on the left-hand side of the screen.
They're in that zone, a lot of gaps. You can open shots like right there on the wing.
Ewing off the bench hits the three ball for the Blue Devils to tie it at a dozen apiece.
Krzyzewski, coach, told us before the game in a little talk we had how much he likes Ewing and how he believes he's going to be a valuable player in the future for this club. He's contributing now, but he'll step up his minutes and his productivity in the future.
Right back at you. Muhammad steps out, and he knocks down the three ball, and it's a 15-12 Tech lead.
I'll tell you one thing, they're not backing down. Muhammad, a tremendous athlete. If he can add consistency shooting, he will be a special player. They really are fired up, Brent.
They move it down to Jones. It's a 2 off iron. Tip back, no by Boozer. Out of bounds. And it's Duke basketball.
You know what you got to respect about Duke? Here they are, taking his best hit. They're down 3 right now, and they're 122-12 going on their 4th year and haven't completed the 4th year. 122-12.
Williams' 3 is on the money. We are deadlocked at 15 with Dick Vitale. I'm Brent Musburger as Cincinnati handles Wake Forest here this afternoon. Georgia Tech off to a strong start against the Blue Devils. Tech hitting 3 of 6 3 ball, and there Muhammad is fouled, and objecting is Dante Jones. You can see him yell back at the official. Duke, meanwhile, is only 2 of 6 with the 3 ball, and Jones very upset about the activity underneath the basket. We are deadlocked at 15. Timeout.
Around here, there's no pie chart to measure progress.
The muscles are sore. The muscles are sore from the job, not the gym. The resumes are built one story at a time. One story at a time. And the company car actually works for a living. The Toyota Tundra, better from the ground up.
I'll take Chris. Okay. Okay. I'll take Chris's buddy. You play net?
Why not?
Look up, see blue. Labatt Blue.
Devo. Good hands.
Oh, thanks. Instinct.
Okay.
Small business software, $500.
It's coming up.
Small business seminar, $300. Small business supplies, $90. Leaving work early to use your reward points, priceless. Now, small business owners can earn reward points to use more places than ever before. Call 866-444-BONUS for details. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Starting now, the future of long distance is unlimited. With the new AT&T Unlimited plan, you can make unlimited long-distance calls from home to any of AT&T's 50 million residential long-distance customers for only $19.95 a month. Make as many calls as you want. Talk as long as you want, whenever you want. And it's just 7 cents a minute to anyone else. The AT&T Unlimited plan, only from AT&T Long Distance. Call 1-800-REACH-OUT.
Oahu is the setting for a matchup of NFL dream teams. Football's megastars meet at the NFL Pro Bowl, next here on ABC. Aloha.
Atlanta, Georgia. Let's take a look at the Toyota lineups here. This ACC confrontation between Georgia Tech, winners of 3 in a row, against first place Duke. Duhan, Ewing off the bench. Dunleavy is scoreless. Jones, upset, has played the entire game. Sanders and Boozer have alternated. Boozer back on the floor. Akins has not taken a single shot as he takes the ball out of bounds here against the pressure. It's Moore, and it's rejected, and the Devils will come down now with Williams to the rack.
That's where he excels.
Lead for Duke.
That's where he excels. Nobody in America is better taking the ball from one length of the court to the other. He's got great strength as he attacks the basket.
The Ramblin' Wreck. They've been able to get the ball in low. Nelson on the turnaround there. They just haven't scored down in the paint area. Missed twice. Nelson still sticking with it. And Sanders fouls it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He out-hustled Sanders right there. Great effort. Very tenacious. He told us before the game that he just loves to play physical basketball. Came from a high school that produced Chris Everett, a tennis player. There he is, does Ed Nelson from out of St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Maybe he's working on a glass. Michael Irving's from that high school as well, the wide receiver. Went to Miami and the Dallas Cowboys.
Rolls in off the iron. That is 3 fouls on Sanders. He sits down, and Boozer returns to the floor. So Sanders picks up 3 quick fouls.
Nelson really made that foul happen on the inside. And remember, this Georgia Tech team beat Syracuse, and they were 20 down against Wisconsin and came back and won that game by 1 in that Big Ten ACC confrontation. What a
great pass from Williams to Boozer on the bounce.
That's a Jason Kidd pass. That's a Jason Kidd pass. That's the only point guard in America I would take over that kid. And I'll give you the rest of the nation, including the NBA.
I've told you before, I'm putting a fellow by the name of Michael on the ball. Muhammad comes up with a left-handed shot, misses into the hands of Boozer, 2 hands short. And a good steal that time by Aiken. One-handed pass on the inside, and all against Duke. Nelson, very active down in the low block, again draws another foul there.
Yeah, he's very impressive play. There's Williams with a diagonal bounce pass to his buddy. I tell you one thing, Carlos Boozer, he should take Williams out for dinner every night of the week. The way he feeds him like you cannot believe. There's a look at Boozer, they're trying to save him. They want to make sure he is not in foul trouble. Going in half, he's so valuable to this team on the inside. He's their post presence.
Ball is inbounded to Marvin Lewis, and here's Akins, his first shot of the game. And going up in the air, and the foul is against Halston Lane. You know, we talk about Duke's bench, and if there is any weakness with the #1 team in the nation, this would be it. Very few minutes off the bench, but look at the lack of point production. And if you project down the road, and you take a Boozer and you get him in foul trouble, or a Dunleavy come March sometime, it would be just about the only problem that this team has. What a nice problem to have, eh? But it is a concern.
Free throw shooting as well. But let me tell you that, Brent, that was the cry that was utilized all of last year. A team that didn't go to their bench. And then all of a sudden they get Boozer hurt. Sanders steps up. He gets minutes out of him. He believes in playing his starters, and they play loads of minutes, and it's effective.
One answer for that. Shane Battier.
Yeah, he's the best communicator in the game. I told you last year he would be a special player in the NBA, and they should have taken him in Chicago, just like they should not have traded Elton Brand.
You know the youngster Chandler? He played very well the other night out in Los Angeles. He looks like he's got some potential in Chicago a little bit. Turnover now, and Dunleavy will put it down. Here's Williams, jump pass inside to Dunleavy's beauty, and Dunleavy has been stopped here today, and now he's come on with 2 field goals.
What a 1-2 punch. Williams and Dunleavy hurt you in so many ways.
Bad pass. Akins got caught up in the air, and now a foul against the Rambling Wreck. Williams went down awkwardly and quickly. Krzyzewski was up and the Duke teammates, but he's okay.
Well, you know, the one thing Dunleavy does really well, moves without the basketball. Really one of those special players. I talk about my Super 6 in college basketball. David West from out of Xavier, Dunleavy and Williams. Certainly outstanding. Drew Gooden, Juan Dixon, and Casey Jacobson. Jacobson's last 3 games, he had 49, and then he came back with 41 against Oregon. Oregon's got to prove they can win on the road now consistently if they want to be in the upper echelon.
Now here we were tied again, and then suddenly Duke spurts, and it's up 24-17 with 10 minutes to go in the first half. That's how lethal Jason Williams and this Blue Devil team can be. They come at you in spurts, and before you can blink, they put a run on you, and you're back 7, 8, 9 points. It happens so fast when you play this team. That 8-0 run was in 1 minute and 11 seconds, folks. An 8-0 run against Tech.
Jason Williams is the best spurt player in the nation.
More to the rack to end it, and it won't stay down. Nelson's there. Horvath fouled him, and one. Nelson made a big-time play in there, Dick.
Yeah, Nelson on the offensive glass, and that was an area that Paul Hewitt told us that they'd have to win the battle on the offensive boards. Now there's the drive, there's the attempted dunk, but look at Nelson working on the glass. Great second effort, but he squares his body, gets up that power move. Really excited, very enthused. He's going to be a good-looking diaper dandy here.
Georgia Tech is shooting only 31% from the floor. Duke shooting over 50% as Nelson makes it a 3-point play. Georgia Tech must start hitting those easy shots down in the paint, Dick, or they will be blown out here on their home court.
Yeah, the last 3 opponents have held to 35.6%, and they've been reducing their turnovers.
Williams with the 3 ball.
Williams is on one of those spurts right now. They contained him early in the game, and then all of a sudden it's boom, boom, boom.
That time it stayed down on the penetrating Akins move.
Akins, good-looking guy on the perimeter. He's really matured. His first 2 years, he was reckless with the ball, reckless with shot selection. But he matured, and last year they got an NCAA berth for Hewitt's club.
Horvath back outside Dunleavy. Pump fake comes to the baseline. And traveling is the call against Ewing.
Fundamentally so solid, Dunleavy.
What a reminder that coming up next, Super Bowl MVP Tom Brady joins the All-Stars Ray Lewis, Curtis Martin, Donovan McNabb, and Michael Strahan in a showdown of NFL Dream Teams live from Aloha Stadium in Hawaii. The AFC-NFC Pro Bowl next right here on ABC. How about those New England Patriots?
Unbelievable. Tom Brady from Michigan. But what about my Bucks? What are they doing? Rich McKay, get out of town. Come to Atlanta as the GM. I mean, what a raw deal he got.
McHenry cleans it up and puts it back. Offensive rebounds, and Georgia Tech is hurting Duke on the glass.
They're not backing away. There they are now with McHenry up at the point. Very active. There's the steal.
Here he comes. Akins coming for the glass.
Great move.
Tried to draw the foul, missed the field goal, but guess who was there? Number 55, McHenry, and he has pulled Tech to within 2. They trap in the backcourt now.
And Paul's posse going well here. Almost had a backcourt.
Jones comes to baseline with the miss. And Tech can tie it up again or take the lead with a 3.
Look at Paul Hewitt. He's animated on that sideline.
Akins looking to penetrate. Schincker's got it, the big 7-footer, and he's fouled.
Now Dante Jones reaching in. Steve Gordon with the call. They are well prepared here to meet the #1 team in America. There's a steal by Akins. Now he draws the defense. He tries to use his right hand. He's a lefty player. There's McKentry with the tip. And the offensive boards. And Paul's posse goes bananas. I like that name, Paul's posse. What about my Bucks? What are they doing there with a coach? What are they going to do?
Why didn't they keep the one they had?
Exactly. They had a great guy, Tony Dungy. They thought they had a deal with Parcells. They screwed it.
No one ever has a deal with Parcells.
Wait a minute. We're supposed to talk basketball. Forget about that football.
Excuse me? Schinccher knocks down the throw.
I'll tell you, Brent, this kid's going to be a good player. You can't teach 7-1, and you can't teach touch. He's coming back from a broken foot, missed a lot of minutes.
Obviously, you can't teach 7-1 different. Is it true that you can't teach touch? That's interesting.
Well, I really believe touch is certainly something you work on as a youngster, obviously. From that moment, you can. But once you get here...
A block on Jason Williams' penetrating move. And now Aikens trying to run the floor and get it going again here.
He's got to make sure he keeps taking good shots and gets people involved.
He's got in there, and then he made a bad pass, but it's off the foot, so it's Tech basketball. 21 up there on the shot clock. 7:39 to go here in the first half. The crowd is enjoying it. A Ramblin' Wreck hanging tough against the #1 team in the nation. The Blue Devils lead it, but only by 1. Timeout.
So, how's your dad doing?
That's what I really wanted to talk to you about. I think that we're going to have to bring him up here and find a care facility for him.
We talked about this. You know the money's there. We should be able to find a really nice place for him.
I hate some laws. Hello?
Hey, Dad. Yeah, we're meeting Mike over at Payne Weber this afternoon. Talk about our business plan. You're gonna be there, right? You drove all that way to save $50 on new tires, did you? Hey, Dad, you know, you could afford to buy a whole new car.
It's not on the lake, but it's close. Oh, it's a beautiful house. Of course, they can't afford it. They just got married. Well, Tom and I would like to help them out. I was just looking at our account.
So, Ben, what's getting the most buzz at this year's Tech Expo?
Well, Sarah, everyone is still talking about the mobile internet, but the really great usable stuff is still a year or two away.
It's been said, men tend to communicate shoulder to shoulder. If that's the case, these guys are saying, let's change the world. Let's make a difference. Let's act as we are called. The Knights of Columbus, in service to one, in service to all.
At BASF, we don't make the cooler, we make it cooler. We don't make the fishing line, we make it stronger. We don't make the fuel, we make it burn cleaner. We don't make the water scooter, we make it lighter. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
John Saunders in the studio here with the Wide World of Sports Speed Pass update. This is the end of the second overtime. That's Braswell for the win. It does not drop down. Notre Dame and Georgetown. Then Chris Thomas in overtime number 3 with the drive gets the deuce. Right now the Irish up by 2. Brent and Dick.
Yeah, what a game that is between Notre Dame and Georgetown. We will be in South Bend next week to watch Syracuse play the Fighting Irish here on ABC.
And that diaper dandy, Chris Thomas, one of the 5 best diaper dandies in America, 32 the other day in a big Irish win. Former Mr. Basketball in Indiana.
Away from the basketball. And it's against Georgia Tech, so that'll be a turnover. You know, second chance points, we've talked about this, and Georgia Tech, 12 second chance points, 6 offensive rebounds, and Duke only 3. Now, for those of you who just joined us, a 3-game winning streak by Tech, and look at the margins against Florida State, North Carolina, and Clemson after going winless in their first 7 conference games, losing to Duke by 25. Now, you can say that the level of competition was not that good, but still in the ACC, 3 in a row is 3 in a row, and they are going toe-to-toe with the Blue Devils, with Jones stepping up to the free throw line right now, and Duke leading it 28-27.
Well, you know, Brent, was really impressive is the fact that they really had Maryland right there to the end. Lost a heartbreaker of Maryland over here to Maryland at home when Ron Dixon made some big plays at the end of the game. Also lost a heartbreaker to Virginia. So they've been playing people, improving, something North Carolina has not done. They have not gotten better. I mean, they're getting blown out by everyone, and that's the sadness there, where this club's been very competitive.
Duke up by 3 at the 7:27 mark. Dunleavy knocks the ball out. An awful lot of Aikens passes must be telegraphed because he gets deflections on his entry passes, and when he goes over to the wings, Duke attacks it relentlessly, and Akins needs a little bit of fake out here on top, Dick, and I think he can get them to jump a little bit.
Well, you know, Duke does a great job denying on the wings, but also players got to step to the ball.
Moore missing again on that baseline shot.
Wide open.
Brings it down. Now here's Jason Williams, 10-point game so far. Dante Jones comes inside the paint, and he's short. And there's a rebound by Nelson. He has scored 9 points, leading the way for Tech, and now he's also pulling down rebounds. Akins gets it back into Nelson's hands, and he'll enter with a bad pass, and another turnover by the Rambling Wreck. And as Coach Hewitt told us, the key to this game is just cut down on those turnovers.
They had 29 in that first matchup. Akins had 28 against North Carolina. He was 10 for 10 on a free throw line. He's also tied or led the team in scoring 13 times this year.
Now, Duke has been a little sloppy, too. They've turned it over 8 times.
Yeah,
Tech 7 in this game.
They have not been super impressive here.
Boozer from behind foul will shoot a pair of free throws. And here we are again, up 3 and back on that free throw line.
That's one of their favorite plays, that big screen up on high by Boozer. There it is. And then he releases from the screen. And then he's got 2 guys on the perimeter that can all make the pass to him, Duhan or Williams. And he knows how to get free inside. He's having a monster junior year. He's already announced that he's leaving, as well as Mr. Williams. Hey, you know what loss drives me nuts when I look at their lineup? We showed their ACC losses. But Georgia Tech lost to IUPUI. IUPUI. That's Indiana University, Purdue University, at Indianapolis. That's the one that Paul Hewitt would like to have back.
Yes, but they did beat EA Sports. And North Carolina didn't.
They lost to Penn.
Boozer misses an offensive rebound, though, for Dante Jones. He misfires again, but still underneath, and finally Boozer puts it away.
Carlos Boozer so strong physically, about 270. He's got great hands, knows how to complete a play. They lost to Penn, who, by the way, got beat by Yale last night. You ready for this tonight? Yale and Princeton for first place tonight in the Ivy League. And not debate.
Jones pulls it away. Now Duke with the ball, and folks, here they are again, up 5 now at the 6-minute mark. So suddenly,
there's that screen up top.
They've spurted again, and Williams on a cutback with a foul against Georgia Tech. Well, here is our lineup tomorrow. We've got 2 fine matchups. You'll see number 11 Miami take on Troy Bell and the BC Eagles, a rematch of a win by BC down in Florida, or Oklahoma State taking on Fresno State. Quite a battle of the coaches tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, right here on ABC.
Sutton and Tarkanian hooked it up. 2 guys that got a lot of wins between them, and you and I will be up there at the Conti Forum. You're going to like it up there at Boston College, watching the driving Troy Bell. I'm trying to get back in the win column. They lost to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's first W. Beat Boston College, but they'll be fired up with Miami. What a job. You talk about potential national coaches of the year. You better think of the name of Gary Clark, who used to operate right here as Bobby Clemens' assistant. What he's done at Miami, they're sitting 20-3.
Williams with a dozen points here for Duke. It's 34-27 again. So Tech needs to come back. Akins fouled on the shot.
You know, he drew the contact right there, but he could have dropped that right off for a layup because he drew 2 people toward him, and Schencher was wide open for a layup. You got to make good decisions when you penetrate. Take a look right here. This Schencher. See this wide open. 2 guys are at him. He's a left-handed player. All he's got to do is throw a little left-handed bounce pass. Well, you talk about point guards. They've had him here at this school. What about Mark Price? Bobby Cremins brought him here, and I hope Cremins gets a job. I think he's got so much enthusiasm yet to bring the game. There's Kenny Anderson out of New York City, Archbishop Malloy fame, Jack Curran now playing with the Celtics. The Celtics are doing a great job.
Oh, wonderful job by Coach O'Brien.
Walker.
Akins' free throw was the first Georgia Tech points in the last couple of minutes, and Duke leads it by 6 as a result here, coming down toward the 5-minute mark of the first half. Here's Duhan. Back to Jason, the 3-ball, not this time. Tracked down, and a block. It's going to go against Tech, and Hewitt's not going to like this. Lane came out of there, and they're going to call him for a charge.
That was a bad call. That was a bad call. I don't blame Paul Hewitt right here. That's a bad call. I don't know about that call right there. Boston Lane gets called for the foul. I got a great Lane story. They told us last year, Brad Nessler and I, we were asking about different players. We said, what about Lane? So, he won't get many minutes. Comes in against Kentucky, scores 23 in 17 minutes to upset Kentucky. He made like about 6 threes.
Williams, crossover in the pass to Horvath, and this time the foul is against Duke.
Mike Scagliano with the call, outstanding high school referee. High school coach, referee in the ACC. He's a heck of a football coach. So look at Mr. Scagliano, eats a lot of Paisan, eats a lot of linguine, a lot of lasagna. Something I got to take you out for tonight. Some linguine, some lasagna up in Boston. Let the producer pay for it, Mark Loomis.
You are indeed like the Energizer Bunny.
What about my jacket? You buy my jacket? Oh, what a mystery that is.
You had the entire building in an uproar because you misplaced your jacket in the coach's office.
And then the Colonel lost his jacket. I stole his.
You stole his jacket.
Colonel Rogers
you
of
borrowed one. I don't know what's going on.
Everybody was looking for my jacket. Found it 30 seconds before airtime. There goes the trap now.
Dunleavy regains it. Duhon attacks, throws it up. Beautiful driving layup. Nice soft touch by Duhon on the penetrating move.
Well, nice drive by Duhon, but this is a danger time now for Georgia Tech, Brent. You don't want to lose a spurt here to Duke and go in psychologically down in double digits.
Nelson knocked away beautifully by Dunleavy. It'll be Duke basketball at the 4:42 mark, and they lead it by 7.
Well, they picked it up now offensively and defensively. Look at Dunleavy right there. So he's going to get him before he goes up, slaps the ball. 21-1. That's their best start since 92 when they won the national title, and 99 when they lost to Jim Calhoun's Connecticut team with Rip Hamilton. Now shooting it for the Washington Wizards.
And the penetration by Williams. The foul goes against Tech.
I heard a good guy yesterday on ESPN radio. I cannot believe this, Brent. I want your reaction. They were talking about Michael Jordan, and he said in that situation, as you look at Mike Krzyzewski, that if he were not the superstar coming back, that he would have never made the All-Star team based on the way he's played. And I think that is absolutely wacky. There is no doubt he's not only a true All-Star, but he is a leading contender for MVP for what he's done with that club. They're 26-21.
Oh, I totally agree. It's just an incredible turnaround for McGetty.
There's Mr. McGetty right there. I'm rehearsing with you right here because maybe, ESPN, ABC got the NBA. I thought I'd rehearse with you right there. You were supposed to set me up on that. I'm trying to let my boss, Mr. Catstow, and Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Soderheimer all up know I know a little NBA.
Blue Devils are on a 10-2 run, and it's 38-29 as a result at the 4:20 mark.
Danger time. Right now, you got to get a score. He tries to go for the little kill with a spurt and get up by about 12 or 15.
Starting to miss shots again. They're shooting 37%, Georgia Tech is. Duke, meanwhile, has shot 50% here in the first half.
Yes, Paul Ewing did a phenomenal job at Siena. Also with Steve Lapis down at Villanova when they were winning big. Great job.
Great pass to Boozer by Dante Jones, but it's rejected. Shencher's size again comes through. Akins will lead it to Elder, and Georgia Tech looking for a score. Elder will try. Williams went high for the rebound. Dante Jones on the move. Hits Dunleavy. Here's the 3 ball. Yes!
That's a killer. That's a killer. They got so many guys that can hurt you who are lethal shooting that 3. Just like Scott Anderson and Oliver were in 1990 when they went to the Final Four. And that was UNLV, the Running Rebels, who won the national title that year, blowing out Duke. Who then came back and went back-to-back in 91 and 92.
41-29. With 3:39 left, and Mike Dunleavy here today, the versatile Dunleavy, can do as many things as any player in the college game. Defensively, he can also rebound. He can score inside, outside, either way.
He's just a terrific player, terrific young man, just comes to play, solid in every area. He has range as a shooter. He should shoot the medium range shot. Has great basketball IQ as well. Understands the game. Comes from a great family of basketball minds. His dad, Michael, did a heck of a job in the NBA. I think Mike Dunleavy and Tim Floyd would be fantastic college coaches. Just like Paul Westphal, who's doing a phenomenal job with Pepperdine. They've won 11 in a row. They're unblemished in the West Coast Conference.
Here's Muhammad. Goes for the rack beautifully with the left hand, and their last field goal was at the 8-10 mark, so they go about 5 minutes between field goals, and it is a 10-point Duke lead as a result of that drought. And Georgia Tech now forced to come up with some stops, try to do something, get it down to single digits here before the intermission, almost. Williams misfiring and gets back on the long rebound and stolen by Akins. Akins will dribble it down and attack. He'll pull it back out because Duhon is there.
Got to back it out and reverse the basketball. Good decision by Akins right there.
Spencer putting it down is fouled.
Trying to show some of those skills from up on top, the big fella from out of Australia. I would love to visit Australia. Have you ever been there, Brett?
No, I have not.
I've never been to Australia. I thought maybe you'd invite me and take me as your guest. There goes Shencher now. There's the contact. Going to the line. You know, I mentioned Paul Westphal. Everybody in that conference talks Gonzaga. But right now, the team that's undefeated in that conference is Pepperdine.
Georgia Tech substitution, number 34, Robert Brooks.
Robert Brooks checks in. 6'8" sophomore. When you look down at this team, Georgia Tech, you go freshman, sophomore, freshman, sophomore, freshman. The only senior is Tony Akins, their point guard. We've got 3 foreign recruits joining them next year. So this is a team with a bright future.
Oh, there's no doubt. Paul Hewitt and his staff do a great job. Warren and Keener and company, Reese recruiting. They got Bosch and Jack coming in next year. Going to be instant type of de facto.
Duke up 10 with the basketball, and Dunleavy going for 3 more.
See, there's where Boozer draws so much attention, and he can kick the ball back out, and wide open shooters. Michael Dunleavy, is there a more complete player in the nation? I'd like to find him. Just ask Maryland, he did a great job of going inside, and had some mismatches in the second half of that game.
Elder knocks down a 3-ball for Tech.
He's a very strong, physical player, Elder. He's got range as a shooter as well. I like their young players. I like their future. So look at the threes right here. 4 for 9, 5 for 11 for the Dukies.
Steal by Shencher. He's a pretty good defensive player. He moves pretty well for someone 7'1". Got back down the floor offensively. Two-handed back outside. The setup on that low block. A little bit too far for the rebound, though, and the Devils come out, and they've got numbers. Let's see what Duhon does. Bad pass. Akins is there defensively. He's got Elder on the right against Boozer over the top. Brooks going up for the rebound. Foul against Tech.
Shot selection. That's why Kansas is so good and leads the nation in field goal percentage, because they take good shots. Look at Mike Krzyzewski talking to you and I before the game about shot selection, about making good decisions. Right there, Georgia Tech's young kids hurrying their shots. You should look at the field goal percentage. That's 50% right there for Duke. With Georgia Tech, you want to get this under 10. You want to go to that locker room under 10. I got a feeling we're going to see Duke here in Atlanta, Peach State, Georgia, Atlanta. Will be the site of the Final Four. My Final Four right now, if I had to pick you my Final Four, I'm going to lay it on you. I know you want to know, Mr. Musburger. You bug me about it all the time. Got
I'm
Kansas.
just dying to hear it.
I got Kansas. I got Duke, obviously. I got Maryland, and I got Florida. The Gators.
So Duke leads at 46-34. Dunleavy, scoreless over the first 5, has now scored 10 points. Timeout.
Beer spends hours before it's really beer. Then yeast is added and then suddenly beer is born. It's alive. The yeast is everything. It's a beer's genes, its bloodlines. Frederick Miller carried this yeast here from Germany in his pocket nearly 150 years ago. It's our beer's past, present, future. Not many get to see it. Even fewer get to touch it. But when it's Miller time, you can always taste it.
Why do they call it lots?
And she lands the triple lunge.
Why do they call it lots?
It was named for Alois Lutz, an obscure Austrian skater from the early 1900s.
Want expert answers whenever you need them? Come to Office Depot, where our people listen, understand, and help.
How can I have fewer office machines?
You can maximize space with an all-in-one.
It'd be nice if everything was like that. Office Depot. What you need to know. Proud sponsor of the 2002 U.S. Olympic team.
The gold standard turns platinum, the New York Times.
Hands down, the car of the year, the Detroit News.
The interior is near perfect. Business Week.
Hey, who you calling near perfect? The 2002 Camry.
Dennis, listen, got a little advertising opportunity for you, Pally. Foot powder.
Yeah, foot powder, right. Forget about it.
Well, before you say that, it's a truckload of money.
Sam, I don't do commercials, period.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir. I told them that.
Know why I don't do commercials?
Why's that, pal?
Because they're dishonest. They lie.
Boy, that's strong language.
I'm supposed to peddle some product I don't even use. Forget about it. I'm not going to do it.
I wouldn't let you do it.
You better believe it.
Tonight it's Robert Wagner and your favorite Bond women.
Oh, Robert.
At the infamous Playboy Mansion.
I must be dreaming.
Goldfinger, tonight on ABC.
Welcome to the Office Depot halftime report. Cincinnati comes out of Wake Forest, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M, and of course a Pro Bowl preview. We will be taking you out to Hawaii after this one for the NFC against the AFC. Georgia Tech had closed to within 1 point in this game, and since then, Duke has gone on an 18-7 run over the last 6 minutes, and that has blown the game open. They lead it by a dozen here with the final minute of the first half unfolding, and it looks like the Devils are going to be tough to stop here on the road.
You know, Georgia Tech trying to get a winning season. They haven't had a winning season in the ACC since 1996. They were 8-8 last year. 3-13 in 97, 6-10 in 98 and 99, 2005 and 11. 3-7 thus far this year, so it's going to be kind of tough. You lose here, you're 3-8.
Dunleavy spins inside the lane and
size.
Crafty shot.
Size and touch, Brent. Size and touch made him make that play and make that available. At 6'9", he's built up. He's added 20 pounds. Such long arms. And I think of versatility. I think of Tayshaun Prince. I think of guys like Jason Capono. Pounding the ball to the deck too much. Pounding the ball to the deck. There's a turnover. 5-second count.
Seconds. Well, we talked about teams that might give Mike a test, and Mike, in talking to you before the game, agrees with us that Kansas seems to be the real deal coming out of the Big 12. They've got a ton of stars on that team.
Oh, I tell you what I like about them is they got inside-outside play. You talk on the interior, certainly great 1-2 combination with Gooden and Collison. I know you'd love those two. And on the wing, Kirk Hendrick might be the most underrated player in America who doesn't get a lot of publicity and notoriety. They sit at number 2, but don't you dare to forget number 3. And I think the team at number 7 is a lot better than where they're at. And they got a date coming up with Georgia. I can hear Jimmy Herrick right here in this state. It has a legitimate argument. He's number 17 in the nation. He's got a great record, and he's beaten Kentucky and Florida on their floors, and they're still in the top 10. Explain to me why that happens, Brent.
Final 3 seconds.
It's because once you get a name and reputation, guys like myself who vote, we make the era of keeping those same teams up there, upper 10.
Folks, you think this is easy, don't you? So here it is, 48-34, a 14-point lead by the number 1 team in the nation.
Basketball presented by UBS Paine-Webber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Office Depot. What you need to know. We'll be back with the Office Depot halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
What is that? What is that?
Curling, an ancient Scottish ice sport, played with a 42-pound stone. Want expert answers whenever you need them? Come to Office Depot, where our people listen, understand, and help.
How can I have fewer office machines?
You can maximize space with an all-in-one.
It'd be nice if everything was like that. Office Depot. What you need to know. Proud sponsor of the 2002 U.S. Olympic team.
Dr. Scholl's next stop, New Orleans.
So how do your feet feel?
That's pain.
Well, this is our Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insole.
It's like a spring.
The massaging wave system gives you more cushioning than regular gel ever could before.
It relieves tension in your feet.
It feels like it's massaging the foot. Dr. Scholl's, treat yourself right.
Are you tough enough to drive a Tacoma?
You ready? You want this? Go get it! It's got to be the dog chow.
Dog Chow is packed with everything your dog needs to build and rejuvenate strong muscles, so he can keep on amazing you day after day. Purina Dog Chow brand.
ABC Sunday, starting 9/8 Central. The one night where two of television's best dramas are all new.
I want you to kill them all.
Quentin Tarantino in a new Alias. Then 10/9 Central. The brutal attack. Now the heart-stopping fallout. A new practice after a new Alias. Sunday starting 9/8 Central on ABC.
ABC Sports goes strong to the hoop. Jason Capono leads highly ranked UCLA against Arizona State. Or Louisville takes on Marquette next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern.
$20,000 for a new car? Ouch. Hey, if your car runs good, looks bad, paint it. That's right, paint it and save at Maaco. Why? The Maaco Supreme Plus sale is on. Supreme Plus at half price. Now only $249. Get our prep package with a full coat of primer sealer, our famous Supreme paint service. Come on in now and get our integrated UV sunscreen for extra protection. All half price. For a limited time only, $249.
It's a limited time offer. For the center nearest you, call 1-888-MACO-USA.
Like many mammals, bears prepare a den lined with leaves and branches, then hibernate throughout the winter. Which is why bears never have any good furniture. They always miss the coolest furniture sale of the year, the Thomasville Winter Sale. Save today on everything for the way you live now. The high quality and high style of Thomasville. All at tremendous savings. The Thomasville Winter Sale. You don't want to miss it, unless leaves and branches are your thing. Parker's Thomasville. Furniture for living, furniture for life.
Oregon versus Cal, tonight at 5 on K2.
This is the Office Depot halftime report. Here now, John Saunders and Digger Phelps.
Georgia Tech down by 14. They got out of the gate quickly, but Duke, just the same, up 48-34. And Digger, that's the whole story with this team. You can play them very, very tight. Look like you're right in the game. Look up, and you're down by double digits. They move that quickly.
They played well for 14 minutes, only down one, and then the last 6 minutes and a half, as you saw, Duke goes on that run 20-7, and that's how they get you right before halftime. First 4 minutes, second half. Very important for Georgia Tech. Try to get refocused. Get it under 10.
Another team out of the ACC in action today, Wake Forest, but they're playing a non-conference game against Cincinnati, a squad that has just 2 losses. Darius Singaila puts this one in and gets it back down to a 2-point game. And then Cincinnati has a 6-point lead. Field Williams shows his range, buries a 3-pointer, but Logan was the guy today.
Logan did a great job, not only scoring, but also 7 assists. Gets it inside to Max Eel for a big deuce.
And Cincinnati, that was the story of the day. There's Max Eel again, down low, by himself, jams it down. Cincinnati pulls away. Steve Logan with 30 points in the game, and that for Cincinnati, their 2 losses against top 25 action, but they get the win today.
Well, it was a fast break points, 26-11. That really helped Cincinnati, but Wake Forest did not have Josh Howard, who sprained his ankle at the end of the Carolina game, and that really hurt Wake today.
Oklahoma against Texas A&M. Hollis Price, the quick guard, pulls up and gets a jumper off the baseline. Then King will find Nick Anderson. His shot from deep goes as well. And Quantus White also showing his range.
Quantus White, another good shooter from the perimeter. You don't play him tight. He's going to shoot the threes. And in the first half, Oklahoma goes 12 for 12 on the free throw line.
46-36 is the lead, 10-point contest. Kentucky against LSU. Kentucky just a game over 500 in the conference.
Yeah, but I think they're coming together. When you take a look at the run in the first half, 16-3 to blow this thing open, 42-28 in the first half.
UCLA and Villanova non-conference game, and UCLA would have thought they wouldn't struggle against Nova, but Buchanan knocks down a 3. Villanova's up by 4. Ricky Wright then with the floater, 5-point lead. UCLA trying to fight their way back, but Barnes buries this.
That Barnes can do that, but the Bruins just didn't have that clutch to get it done at the end. It was all Gary Buchanan when it counted with the assist inside. Whatever makes it happen, they get it done with Sale scoring there.
And you see the end of the game, time winding down. Knight gets one look, comes up short, comes back up. Ball chased around. Another offer, you see Lavin going up like he's trying to coax it in, but it doesn't go. But I think Lavin was about 4 feet off the ground on that one.
This really helps the Big East against the Pac-10 when it comes for those at-large berths. Big win today for Villanova, but a bigger win for the East, getting it done against the Pac-10.
Buchanan with 20 points there. Georgetown against Notre Dame. What a game. This is the end of the second overtime. That's Braswell from deep. Georgetown at the end of 4 periods from deep every time. Thomas with a drive here. Lays it up and in. And Notre Dame takes the lead. But the Hoyas come back. Another chance. This is the end of the third overtime. Watch it come back to Braswell. He beats the buzzer, but doesn't beat the shot clock. So it goes to the 4th overtime. There again, you see the shot clock is on double zeros as he beats the game clock, but it doesn't matter.
The wisest thing to do.
And then, in the OT, too much shooting from 3. Carroll buries that one, and Mike Bray pulls out a victory. But Digger, 4 consecutive end-of-game possessions for Georgetown. They never looked at Mike Sweetney.
When the score is tied, you got to take it to the paint to draw fouls. Either dish it and get somebody fouled, or drive yourself and get it to the foul. It didn't happen. Irish get a big win on the road against the Hoyas.
7-3 in the conference. We'll get Matt with more of Office Depot.
A recent survey indicated millions of American teenagers never touch alcohol. And that's great, absolutely great. But some teenagers do drink, and that's not great. So if you know any kids who drink, talk to them and listen to them. Because even one kid drinking is one too many.
Starting now, the future of long distance is unlimited. With the new AT&T Unlimited plan, you can make unlimited long-distance calls from home to any of AT&T's 50 million residential long-distance customers for only $19.95 a month. Make as many calls as you want, talk as long as you want, whenever you want. And it's just 7 cents a minute to anyone else. The AT&T Unlimited plan, only from AT&T Long Distance. Call 1-800-REACH-OUT.
There's never been anything like this high-powered European engineered machine. With 6 speeds, stainless interior, and energy efficiency that will take you farther on 15.8 gallons than on everyone else's 42.4. The Kenmore Elite HE3T washer. It simply outperforms every other American machine in its class. In fact, it takes doing laundry in a whole new direction.
So, Dan, do we have everything we need for this meeting?
It's all right here, sir.
Is your data backup as reliable as it should be?
Don't worry, sir. He told me everything.
Ours is. Bright Store Storage Software from Computer Associates.
Do they bowl in Italy? Do they bowl in Italy? It's the birthplace of bocce ball, but you're missing the point of the story. A mom-and-pop bowling ball bag manufacturer in Jersey. Jersey is swamped with worldwide demand after their product is featured in an Italian fashion magazine. Why are you laughing? I was thinking of bocce shirts. Let it go. So they ship via FedEx International Services. With time-definite express delivery to over 210 countries, the bags hit the markets. A classic macroeconomic love story. Supply meets demand. I like a nice love story.
The lovely Hawaiian island of Oahu, known for its beaches and bikinis, serves as a setting for a matchup of NFL dream teams. Brady, Stewart, and Lewis lead the AFC against Warner, Douglas, Falk in the NFC. Football's megastars meet at the NFL Pro Bowl, next, here on ABC. Aloha.
Tuesday, if you don't watch The Chair.
I'm going to get really cranky. And people, you do not want to see me cranky.
The Chair, a new episode Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on ABC.
This is the Office Depot halftime report. Here now, John Saunders.
Duke leading Georgia Tech 48-34. The second half still to come. When that is done, it's time for the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl game from Hawaii. For an update on that, let's join Al Michaels.
Thanks, John. As usual, the National Football League season concludes in Honolulu, the site of the Pro Bowl today, where a capacity crowd at Aloha Stadium will look on. They'll see Tom Brady in action. Just 6 days ago, led the New England Patriots to that most improbable of Super Bowl wins. Also in action from the New York Giants, Michael Strahan, who set an NFL record this year with 22.5 sacks. Marshall Faulk will be here. So will Kurt Warner, and all of the stars. We'll have a look at action from Skycam. Players are mic'd, coaches are mic'd. Coverage the way you've never seen it before from the Pro Bowl in Honolulu, the AFC against the NFC, coming up at 4:30 Eastern Time. See you then, John.
All right, Al, thanks a lot here with Digger Phelps. Jason Williams, 14 at halftime.
Yeah, you got Boozer, Dunleavy, Williams. They combined for 35. Georgia Tech has 34.
48-34 in the second half coming up.
This has been the Office Depot halftime report. Brought to you by Office Depot. What you need to know. We'll be back with the second half after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
And she lands the triple Lutz.
Why are they calling it Lutz?
And she lands the triple Lutz.
Why are they calling it Lutz?
It was named for Alois Lutz, an obscure Austrian skater from the early 1900s.
Want expert answers whenever you need them? Come to Office Depot, where our people listen, understand, and help.
How can I have fewer office machines?
You can maximize space with an all-in-one. It'd be nice if everything was like that. Office Depot. What you need to know. Proud sponsor of the 2002 U.S. Olympic team.
Wait your turn.
Have a good night.
Take me with you.
Excuse me?
Take me with you. I want to get away. I want to wander the Andes, climb the ruins of Machu Picchu. We'll explore Laguna de los Condors and search the Amazon for lost tribes. I have a keychain with a can opener. I'm a good listener. I can make guacamole.
Presenting the Freelander from Land Rover, the most well-traveled vehicles on Earth.
ABC Sports goes strong to the hoop. Highly ranked Oklahoma State battles Fresno State, and Big East rivals meet when Miami faces Boston College. Tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern.
Starting Sunday, ABC has two. That's right, two aces up our sleeve. Jim Carrey is Ace Ventura in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Yes! Then Jim Carrey is Ace Ventura in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, ABC Sunday, 7, 6 Central, and Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, ABC Monday, 8, 7 Central.
K2 cares about the community and encourages you to get involved. Brought to you by Emporium.
Now is the time to save at the All-American Mattress Sale at Bedmart. All Beautyrest mattresses are now on sale. We'll deliver you a better night's sleep. And with any mattress purchase over $4.99, we'll give you the pillows, pillowcases, sheets, and a Beautyrest blanket for free. But wait, there's more. Get free next-day delivery, and we'll haul away your old bed, too. Only at Bedmart, the All-American Mattress Sale.
Pay more at another store. Shop and save at Bedmart.
At Beaverton Honda, you can buy a brand new 2002 Accord or Civic, get your best price, and finance it for 4.9% for 60 months. I have the largest selection of Honda products in the Northwest and a 7-day-a-week award-winning service center. And at Beaverton Honda, we give back by making a donation to a local charity with every car we sell. Best cars, best financing, best service, and we give back.
Just buy Bob and save.
Oregon versus Cal tonight at 5 on K2.
Assistant coach Steve Wojciechowski talking to Jason Williams and Chris Duhon, the two Duke guards. Mike Dunleavy helped lead the way both defensively and offensively in the first half as Duke opens up a 48-34 lead. You can watch him operate as he fronted a 7-footer on the inside. Now watch him back by the baseline, knock the ball and then throw it off the defender's leg. Now watch him hit the pull-up 3 off the transition. So in 19 minutes, he scored 12 points, 3 steals, a couple of assists, and he had 5 defensive rebounds. Doing it all for the Blue Devils. And the 3 stars here, Dick Vitale.
Well, you know, the 3 stars just were so consistent. They hurt you in so many different ways. When you look at that combination of Williams, Boozer, and Dunleavy, you look at the total points, 35. They outscored Georgia Tech. I mean, just incredible. But what about his performance against North Carolina State? He outscored North Carolina State at the half himself, Dunleavy did. They got a date with them, by the way, next Thursday. We'll be down there at Duke for that game. NC State certainly going to get in the NCAA tournament this year. Herb Sendik's really done a great job with that team.
So the turnaround by Nelson. He is the leading scorer for Georgia Tech with 11 points here for the Rambling Wreck. First few minutes are so important to this game. The Rambling Wreck must not lose contact with the #1 team in the nation if they expect to hang tough. And Dante says, we're just going to pull away, my friends.
Well, that's the one rap on him, is that he can't shoot the perimeter shot, but he's not afraid to take it, and he's really so explosive to the goal.
Nelson worked his way back to the free throw line, and here are our Mobile One first half stats, Dick.
Well, shooting the basketball was a problem with Georgia Tech. That defense, Brent, really was so effective by Duke, held them to 34% shooting. Tough to win when you're shooting in the low 30s. You and I talked about it at halftime. I agree with you. The first 4 minutes of this half is going to determine whether or not Georgia Tech's going to be able to hang or whether or not we're going to have a blowout.
3 fouls on Boozer in this game.
And that's big because he's their post presence inside, and that was one of their goals. Their goals, Georgia Tech, was to get him in foul trouble.
And they've got Casey Sanders on the bench with 3. So they've done a good job of picking up fouls on the Duke pivot. Now Duhon squares and knocks down the 3. They've had 2 wide open looks here starting the second half. And quickly down to 4. Bad pass from Akins on the turnover. It's Duke basketball.
That was a bad pass, Brent, but what a great pass, and not a lot of people would give the kid credit for that. But that was a tremendous pass by Williams over the top of the defense, using the skip pass and the vision to find the open Duhon. The best backcourt in America. There's no doubt in my mind, Williams and Duhon.
Dunleavy off the cut from the baseline, squares up there, 3 of 3 starting the second half. How about this for a jump start for the #1 team in the nation?
Well, nice little curl move by Mike Dunleavy. I think they almost relish the fact that everybody is against them and wants a piece of them. And they just keep coming and churning and churning.
Lewis misfires, and now Duhon off on the move, and the machine is running very smoothly right now, folks.
Yes, sir.
There's the first misfire of the second half.
And they quieted the crowd. This crowd was so alive, as you said earlier. Look at that skip pass by Williams, right over the top. Duhon knows where the three-point line is, squares his body, and knocks it down. They got a tough 2 games, though, on the road with Maryland and Wake Forest. Wake Forest, by the way, today played without their star. Josh Howard did not play against Cincinnati.
Traveling. Well, a reminder for you folks out on the West Coast, ABC Sports returns with more great college hoops. Right after the Pro Bowl, you'll see the Oregon Ducks take on Cal at 5 Pacific. If you haven't checked Oregon out, you're in for a treat. One of the better teams in the Pac-10 and certainly headed for the NCAA field.
No doubt, they're undefeated at home. They just got to show some consistency on the road. They got the cool hand Lukes, Jackson, and Ridnour.
The turnaround into Lewis's hands, and the Rambling Wreck looking to get something going. Need to run.
They need some threes. They need Akins and Lewis to knock down some threes, Brent. They got to step to that perimeter and knock some threes to get some momentum and to get this crowd going again.
55-37. Blue Devils.
And what else is new?
Yes,
what else is new? They play tough defense. They always play like they're behind. Look at them playing defense right there, Duhon.
There it is. Right there and into Jason's hands. On the right is Dante Jones, and he is fouled. He'll shoot a pair of free throws. Clarence Moore did not agree with the whistle.
You know, they play hard, and let's give the credit where it belongs. Right on that sideline, Mike Krzyzewski. You and I saw him today as you see the deflection. Now they're going to get in transition. There's the kick out. Now we're going to see the bounce pass to Dante Jones trying to get the 45-degree angle. You and I saw it before the game. You would think if people were in that locker room that this man was fighting for his job. The intensity, the way he sits there. I mean, the bottom line is his most important game, every game, is his current game. He doesn't look back and think about all those other games. Those are great memories.
Did you tell me that someone recently ranked him the 3rd best coach in the country?
Imagine that.
Tell me who the first 2 are on that list.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, with his rank. Even Bobby Knight says right now, his mentor, that he's the premier coach.
How can you argue
with his success?
It's been unbelievable now. And
I read that in an article.
20-point lead.
That's part of that Duke paranoia. People out there that are just anti. You know, the bottom line is people like to knock people that are down. Just like you up there on the mountaintop.
Here's Akins now being harassed, and
nice pass.
Great move to the basket, and Nelson comes with him.
Okay, Nelson really has given him a solid performance inside, but that was a great look by Akins. Now you got to stop them, and they got so many weapons that they hurt you. See, the one thing in terms of Kansas has got Heydrich outside as a perimeter player who is so tough defensively. It'd be interesting to see him matched up against Williams.
Nelson fouling Dunleavy.
I would love to see the Kansas-Duke matchup that almost happened out in Maui, but Kansas got upset by Ball State. David Letterman school went out and beat UCLA. UCLA lost today to Villanova.
Jason Williams knocks the 3-ball in, and folks, it's the men against the boys all of a sudden. The Blue Devils have grabbed this game by the throat, and they're shaking right now at 60-39.
Nice drive.
Akins drives to the rack and says, not so fast. We're not going to quit in this thing, and 60-41.
Nice, using the right hand. He's a left-handed player. Let me ask you, you've done so many NBA games. Jason Williams to the next level. Any doubt in your mind that he's a star?
There was no doubt last year for me.
A star right away.
I think he could have played this year.
He's so physically strong.
Absolutely. Jones on a cut. He's very unselfish. I think also he's very intelligent. He plays beyond his years out there. It was hard to believe the first time I saw him when he was a freshman. Akins goes to the rack. And Duke not jumping in and taking fouls right now with this big lead, and that's why they're just a little bit passive on these drives. There he is, knocking down another 3-ball, just coming down, and 65-41, and Jason with 20 points.
You know where he excels, too? He usually excels in the big spotlight game. That's why against Kansas, a kid like Williams would put this game to another level in that kind of game as Lewis gets the score in a backdoor cut, just like he did with Kentucky when he had 38, 34 against Maryland.
Hewitt is arguing that Williams traveled on that last 3-ball. Timeout, Georgia Tech. They trail at 65-43.
From Tech Expo, this is Sarah Brunel.
And clear.
So this mobile internet, what companies are making that happen?
So, Sarah, listen, I emailed you our analyst reports on those companies, but I got to tell you, based on your long-term goals, you're already overweighted in stocks.
Emily, your father's here.
Dad?
Yeah.
I got an acceptance letter.
Great, where?
Boston.
Boston, wow, that is great. Boston. Boston.
I guess I just didn't figure on the school being 3,000 miles away.
You know, those zero-coupon bonds we got you into will more than cover costs. It's not going to be easy having her so far away, is it?
Hey, Jim. Where are you now? You're breaking up.
Hey.
Take me with you.
What?
Take me with you. Somewhere far and remote. I want to see the plains of the Serengeti, roam the wild trails of Tanzania. We'll climb the switchbacks of Mount Kilimanjaro and toast the sunset in Mozambique. God, I don't take up much room. I eat very little. I can start a fire with 2 sticks.
Presenting the Freelander. From Land Rover, the most well-traveled vehicles on Earth. Pizza.
the staple of the American male. Oftentimes served dangerously hot.
Okay.
To cool it, they use an age-old technique known as the reverse blow. The Rolling Rock continues the cooling process.
Good. Rolling Rock beer. Grab a rock.
Duke with a big lead when they got up this morning and they picked up the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. You know what the headline was? That the NBA All-Stars combined make $1.7 billion.
That's
Can
all.
you imagine what a payroll that is for those guys?
That's in your league now.
You know what?
They're up there with you.
Think, what was it, $500 million and some that they paid for the Atlanta Falcons recently?
Exactly. Yeah, Mr. Blank paid $500 million. He's trying to find a general manager. Why don't he hire my buddy, Mr. Musburger? You could be a GM. I would love to see you as a GM.
I might have some problems with some of the agents. So here are the three-pointers in the second half. Duke 3 for 3. Jason Williams leading the way.
You saw Duke last year, Brent, again,
yes.
And you've seen him this year. Matty Young on the club. His club as good as last year.
I still say they miss his leadership, and that in a crunch time game, we will find out if they have been able to replace that internally. Certainly the 5 players that they have, you get no for. They're stars. And Dunleavy's better than a year ago. Jason with more experience.
And Dante Jones is terrific.
But I just, that one little intangible in the back of my mind. You know, ask the St. Louis Rams. That's why they play the games. Timeout.
I'm sorry?
Take me with you. I want to go somewhere beautiful. I want to see the Swiss Alps, the snow-covered Matterhorn. I want to frolic in the Lauterbrunnen Valley and drink cocoa in a rustic chalet. I can do exchange rates in my head. I won't ask for pit stops. I can yodel.
Presenting the Freelander from Land Rover, the most well-traveled vehicles on Earth. What is that? What is that?
Curling, an ancient Scottish ice sport, played with a 42-pound stone. You want expert answers whenever you need them? Come to Office Depot, where our people listen, understand, and help.
How can I have fewer office machines?
You can maximize space with an all-in-one.
It'd be nice if everything was like that. Office Depot. What you need to know. Proud sponsor of the 2002 U.S. Olympic team.
This man may not bowl many strikes, but don't you think he's not still at the top of his game? His scores are not reflected in his average. His scores cannot be measured with hash marks and excess. Even between frames, he keeps his roller going. Here's to you, you old polecat. You keep on living the high life.
You like simple better than complicated. You like quick better than slow. You like easy better than hard. So now pay with SpeedPass at both Mobil and Exxon. It's fast, it's free, and it links to a check card or major credit card you already have. Call toll-free or visit speedpass.com. We're drivers too.
If you're a double agent taken hostage, what's more important?
They've got Sydney.
Your cover or your life? A new Alias, ABC Sunday, 9/8 Central.
Kenny Anderson now in the NBA, unable to do anything about Georgia Tech's problems here, but there was a time when he helped lead the way with Oliver and Scott, and you can compare that trio with these three, Dickie B.
Yeah, that was the lethal trio. Dennis Scott could certainly shoot the basketball. Oliver was such a competitor and a shooter as well. And they went out there, played in the Final Four with Bobby Cremins. Cremins did a great job, as you said earlier, resurrecting this program. I never thought that they could compete in this league with the kind of academic standards they had and really how tough it was here. But Bobby Cremins proved so many people wrong.
That was the last time, Dick, that any team has had 3 scorers in the top 5 in the ACC, and Duke, of course, duplicating it with their big 3 this year.
Well, Kenny Anderson's going to get a chance next year firsthand rather than sitting in the stands. He's going to get right in the face of Jason Williams somewhere across America. He's going to have a chance to play him.
Horvath missing and Schencher.
They're just hoping that Horvath can give him some positive minutes off the bench. He's had so many injuries in his career.
Akins to the rack.
Nice drive by the little guy. Think of my point guards, if we get to mention, Stephon Marbury played here as well.
Exactly.
That trade really has worked to the benefit, though, of the New Jersey Nets with Jason Kidd, what he has done to that program.
Keith Van Horn suddenly playing like he's supposed to, because Kidd gets him the ball where he's supposed to. And here is our Payne Weber Senior of the Week, Jeff Boschee, one of the Kansas stars, selected for his contributions on and off the court. He's KU's all-time leader in three-point field goals, key part of the Jayhawks' rise to #2. And off the court, he shops for presents for the needy during the holidays, and he's involved with the Special Olympics. So Payne Weber donates $1,000 to its Senior of the Week scholarship fund in the name of Jayhawks senior Jeff Boschee. He's a good one.
Yes, he is. He can flat out shoot it. He's also got point guard experience. They got 3 guys that have played the point guard. Miles is doing an outstanding job. Heinrich's played some point, and Boschee. And then inside, Collison and Gooden. They make music better than any combination, 1-2 on a baseline.
So Ewing, right in the hip, picks up the personal foul. Daniel Ewing, a freshman, 6'3" guard.
Yeah,
averages about 6 points off Mike's bench.
He played out of Texas down there, Willow Ridge High School, along with T.J. Ford, the outstanding diaper dandy from Texas, who's going to make my Super 5 when I announce it next week. Best freshman in America. The best of all is DeJuan Wagner from Camden down there with Memphis, who got beat last night.
Muhammad short on the putback. And on the third opportunity, more rejected by Dunleavy, and now Williams runs the floor. Duhan gliding in because the lane was open to him.
Yeah, I thought he was going to give it back, but he took it right to the goal. So underrated, Duhan. I mean, I'll tell you, Paul Ewing and his staff had his kids really ready to play today. They came out, fired up, missed some open shots. Duke did a great job when they decided all of a sudden to play on a defensive end, and that's been the difference.
This is an NBA 3, and Dunleavy, look at him look up the floor with the ball, seeing if he can spot an open teammate for that down-the-court pass. The unselfishness and the intelligence of this basketball team is something to watch. And of course, now you can start the argument as to whether or not it's Mike's best ever. And he's only lost 1. I know, Dick, you think another team was better as more attacks and is cut off by Ewing, now doubled by Duhan. There's the 7th.
Yes, Schencher with a nice little left-handed scoring side. You know, Brent, I think the 92 team, Hurley, Grant Hill, and Leitner, tough to beat that trio. I think that was the best team that he's had at Duke. I really do.
Let's check in now with John Saunders. John?
Brent, for the Wide World of Sports Speed Pass update, Indiana facing Louisville. Tom Coverdale runs off the screen, open for a three-pointer, buries it. Indiana pulling away, and they get the win over Rick Pitino's 77-62, the final. Brett and Dick.
So Indiana continues on its roll. They'll wind up with a good seed, it looks like, coming out of the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, Mike Davis doing a heck of a job. I was there Tuesday night, and what a job they did against Iowa, who's been certainly...
What's wrong with Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa and Illinois have been major disappointments. Yeah. They don't have a rhythm in the backcourt. Offensively, just don't have a rhythm to their game.
Iowa, Illinois, North Carolina, because they haven't shown the improvement, has to be a disappointment, too.
Just the way they're getting beat. They're getting beat by 25 and 30s. They're not getting better. I know the future's bright with Felton and certainly May coming in, but you thought they would show some improvement. There's Williams' little throw move in the lane.
That's 22 for him, Dick.
I know Matt Doherty's told me himself, you know, he gets disappointed many a times because of effort. He really expects nothing, but he wants the best effort, and I just wonder if they're really giving the best effort.
A little pressure over at Clemson, eh?
Well, yeah, you know, Larry Shia, really a nice guy. Good friends of my buddy Howard Garfinkel, but it's one of the tough jobs. Tough to win down here.
Let's take a look at the Duke's schedule, see what's ahead. Remember now what we said that Krzyzewski told us. Cruise through February. Yes, go ahead and try to keep on winning, but keep your eye on March. That's such a critical time for this team because nothing short of a national championship will satisfy the Duke fans this year with this squad.
Or the nation, you know, in evaluating and rating Duke.
Good point.
Their situation is a little different than most. They come here to the Final Four, let's say if they get here, it'll be like, oh really? Doesn't mean anything unless they cut the next step. I remember the Heat that Roy Williams got in '97 saying they couldn't win the big game. You ready for this? They were 34-2. And their loss was to Arizona in the tournament in the last minute of the game, where Arizona went on to win the national title, and people thought they had a bad year.
Moore with 4 foul sits. Dunleavy knocks down the 3 ball. Dick, you know, that label's going to stick with Roy until Kansas breaks through and wins a national championship. Fair or not, it's going to stick. I mean, you know, Dean Smith used to be needed as McHenry drives to the rack until he got it done in that classic.
82?
Yeah, against Georgetown.
I believe you called that game. Did you call that game?
Gary Bender actually called the game. I was the host of it down there in New Orleans. And Gary worked with Billy Packer.
Right.
And did a great job. It was a great game. I saw Gary and his family out in Kansas City.
Good guy, real good guy, talented guy. Yep. Worked with him. He did a solid job.
You bet. ABC Sports coverage of NCAA basketball presented by UBS Payne Weber returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
At BASF, we don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Let's have a listen. It's got to be the Puppy Chow.
Vets have been recommending Puppy Chow for years. There's no better way to get him off to a strong and healthy start. Purina Puppy Chow brand.
Lance, what's the story?
Hey, Dan, sorry. Thought everybody left for the night.
Can I get you an energy bar? How about some water?
No, man, I'm okay.
You good?
Thanks.
All right.
Right on target. Now there's a men's hair color made to target only your gray hair. Grecian 5. It's right on target. In 5 easy minutes, Grecian 5 targets only the gray hair, replaces it with subtle tones like your own natural color. Right on target. It matches the rest of your hair for a subtle, natural look. Grecian 5 targets only the gray.
K2 cares about the community and encourages you to get involved. Brought to you by Emporium. K2, the station more and more people are watching.
Duke pulling away, and a former Georgia Tech star, Dennis Scott, is in the audience here watching the game, and if he was on the floor, he'd start raining some threes, wouldn't he, folks?
He can flat out shoot it. I tell you, Mr. Scott, you think about all the greats.
Of threes.
The beat just keeps going on and on. You think
20 for Dunleavy now.
You think about some of the greats that played here. We mentioned guards. What about Drew Barry, John Barry, Travis Best? I think about guys that have played here like Collier and Geiger and Dalrymple, Elisma, Farrell, Forrest, Glover, Hammonds, Bobby Kremens.
Oh, he's a great player. Shensha missing. And Dunleavy is tied up. And McHenry bounces back up off that floor. And Dunleavy showing you some of that strength now. He's muscled up here in his years at Duke. Watch him. They go up for the board. Now watch Dunleavy hold on to this ball.
Yeah,
and he just throws him down, and so he's much stronger, Dick. I know you've been making the observation, but there was good visual evidence of what you've been talking about with Dunleavy.
Yeah, he's added 20 pounds to his frame, got a lot stronger physically. McHenry showed some good minutes in his game right here. Paul Hewitt's got this program going in the right direction.
Williams has got Boozer wide open again.
You know, you can't use this as an evaluation when you're people looking at it. You look at the score. I mean, Duke's done this to a lot of clubs. Just the other day, they were hanging around with Florida State in the first half and ended up winning like 80-49. the bottom line is Georgia Tech, with their good young players and what they're adding, and Paul Hewitt doing a super job selling this program, I think next year you're going to see this program make a little noise.
Jason's going for the 3.
Just too good. It's just too good. He's just too good. My friends, you're looking at a special player. You're looking at a guy that's going to be a star at the next level. If I had to take my choice, I'll give you the rest of the rookies, and I'd take him for Rookie of the Year next year in the NBA.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against it, Mr. Vidal, as Nelson still hanging tough, turns around on that
yeah, a little jump shot. You know, I mentioned in the NBA, the greatest
Look at this in the second half. Wow. Duke, 6 of 7 from three-point range. Williams is 5 of 7. And 25 points for Jason.
Can do anything he wants right
now. Going again. Henry yanks it away.
McHenry's really getting some good minutes out here. I turned it over there. Turned it over. We're just going to say something positive, but at least he's hustling.
And Akins is looking at him like, you know, big fella, when you take it down like
give it to me.
Give me the rock.
Give me the rock. That's right.
I'm the guy responsible.
Yeah, give me the rock. Just like I tell you, give me the mic.
Right.
Give me the mic. Hey, John Saunders, tell me, give me the mic.
The mic.
Oh, man.
You never have to ask. You know.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. You did a great job with him on that radio with the NBA. I got a feeling my buddy's going to do some NBA next year. I tell you, aren't you happy ESPN and ABC got the NBA?
Delighted.
I think it's going to be great. I think they'll do a phenomenal job, our producers.
Absolutely. And Dunleavy knocks down another 3 here in the second half. It's
how good are they? How good are they, those two? Can he play at the next level?
Absolutely.
Any guy that can shoot like that.
You know, he might be a top 5 if he decided to go out too. You know that as Nelson comes back up.
He's staying in school.
Away on the inside. Yeah, I know.
He's staying in school. His priorities a little different at home. I can't say priorities because some people aren't as fortunate to have the kind of situation financially at home like a Dunleavy does. So some of the kids, you can't knock them when they leave early.
Not the salaries that I saw today in the newspaper. You really can't.
It's wacky. But you can always come back to school. I mean, I'm for kids going to school. I wish they all go, but I do understand when some kids make the decision to leave.
Well, tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, follow the trials and tribulations of a juvenile prison football team as they experience the freedom of playing ball and the anguish of being locked up. The season behind bars. That sounds very interesting. Wow. It's part of The Block on ESPN. Now, after the season, stay tuned to The Block for Pardon the Interruption, Sports Century 1980, and Sidelines LA Hoops, presented by Gatorade. So a busy night on ESPN and interesting original program.
I was on Pardon the Interruption the other day, and it was being hosted by Mr. Wilbon and also Bill Plaschke from out of LA as a turnover. And he got all over me because I said that the SEC and the Big 12 were the 2 best conferences. He said, hey, what about the Pac-10? Well, Mr. Plaschke, did you see the score today? Villanova with your UCLA Bruins.
Hey, they tried to put a stopwatch on you in a minute. Time was up.
It was great. I had a lot of fun. I think
Tony Kornheiser normally hosts that show with Wilbon, and he was off for that night that you were with Plaschke. But they do it's an interesting show. You know, I wondered if the format would have appeal, and it does.
They have a lot of fun. They really do.
Yes, they do.
They have a lot of fun.
A couple of smart guys, by the way. Wilbon and Kornheiser, if you start talking sports with a couple of guys, if you want to be sitting around, you'd like to have those two with you. So tomorrow, ABC Sports brings you 2 terrific college hoops matchups. You'll see Miami take on Troy Bell and the BC Eagles, or Oklahoma State battling Fresno State tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern. How's Jerry Tarkanian doing out there, Dick?
Well, struggling right now. Really not the kind of team that he expected. He had a suspension with his star player, Melvin Eli. Lost a point guard earlier in the year he thought he would have. So, again, it hasn't been an easy time. But one thing about his kids, they always come to play, and they play with a lot of intensity and emotion. And so does Eddie Sutton. I mean, those guys just churning out wins. Just like the guy right here in the city, right here. The left-hander, Charles Drizel. Keeps going on and on.
Oh, what a great guy.
He just keeps on ticking. He just keeps on ticking and keeps on.
How about Raleigh Massimino? How's he doing?
He's down at Cleveland State. Raleigh is another magical name. I was interviewed today before the game about Boeheim's court going to be named after him. And I said, the one thing the Big East right now misses, Massimino, Carnesecca, John Thompson, all those magical names.
And foul called as Akins was beginning his penetrating move. We're going to have a timeout here with 7:26 to go. The #1 team in the nation, folks. They're about to make Mike Krzyzewski 22-1 for the first time ever. Timeout.
So what do you play? Tenor sax. I play a bad guitar myself. Yeah? I mean bad in the bad sense.
As long as you enjoy it.
You make a good living?
Well, I do what I love. In the 43 countries.
43?
Yeah.
You want to take next year off? Well, no, I know you, Bob. I know you're serious.
Check this out. I'm going to lunch.
Well, it's not like we didn't anticipate this. Listen, let me talk to your accountant about the tax implications. We'll go from there.
That stock sector could have gone up or down hard. It was just too risky for you.
Thanks for the heads up on that one.
Sure. So how's your dad doing?
Well, that's what I really wanted to talk to you about.
In 32 seasons, Gordie Howe had his nose broken 14 times and took 500 stitches to his face. A reporter asked him why he didn't wear a helmet but did wear a protective cup. And Howe said, "You can always get someone to do your thinking for you."
Hey, nothing beats an original. Coors Original, brewed with Rocky Mountain water.
Oh, that's original.
Do you like the conditioner and shampoo in one?
Well, yeah, you know, I do, but it does leave my hair a little oily and... Dang it! What is wrong with you idiot? This is not a toy.
Easy, Bobby. He's sensitive.
What if he tore it up? I can't believe.
You've got some big ones, my friend. I didn't think you had it in you.
Scratch here. There's a dent over here.
NCAA basketball presented by UBS Payne Weber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by UBS Payne Weber, because life is a continuing story.
Well, let me correct something. This would be the second time, of course, because in 98-99, Duke was 37-1 before losing to Connecticut in the national title game. And the other loss that season, folks, that was to Cincinnati in the Great Alaska Shootout. So Mike will go to 22-1. This could wind up being his best record if he runs the table the rest of the way.
You know, it's really amazing when you think of the numbers. 122, now going to 123-12 over a 4-year period and not even completed. 123 wins. They could go winless the next 2 years, and if you have 6 years, that's averaging over 20 a year. I mean, that's incredible what they've done.
And remember what kind of a positive start Georgia Tech had in this basketball game, as Lewis a little bit off balance, battle for the rebound, and Georgia Tech maintains control.
Yeah, they really came out to play. They really were battling. I thought Duke was a little lethargic in the first couple of minutes. But then all of a sudden, Duke just went to their typical Duke basketball defensively.
Lane is fouled.
Lane had one of his great days against Kentucky last year. 23 points. Brad Nessler and I could not believe it. Knocking down 1 3 after another because we didn't have a great scouting report on the young guy. And all of a sudden, in 17 minutes, he's the star of stars to beat Kentucky.
Did you see the picture of Georgia Tech's brand new baseball facility opening up this weekend? Playing
yes,
Georgia Southern, I guess, this afternoon and then tomorrow. It is amazing, Dick, isn't it, down here where we live in Florida and in the South, how early they start playing baseball in February. Games are being played. What an advantage they have on the northern schools.
Oh, what an advantage, big time, and that's why so many of the great players come from California and from Florida. There goes to a half-court trap right now. He wants these kids just to keep battling. Great learning experience. They've lost 11 in a row now to Duke. It'll be number 12 after today. And a kid like Nelson, he knows now he can play with anybody in America when he can battle inside against players at this level. Because, my friends, a lot of the people he's playing against now, you're going to see at the next level. greatest athletes in the world are in the NBA. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Baseball, football.
Shot clock violation.
Yes, sir. Good call by Steve Gordon.
I agree with you.
Do you agree with me?
Absolutely, they're unbelievable. In fact, they make it look too easy. I think some people have said to me they like the college game better, and they don't really appreciate. They really should go watch one in person sometime.
Well, I'm talking about the great
speed and the skill that those guys operate is unbelievable. You know, Dick, as we go around, we see so very few college kids that are going to make it in the NBA. They've all got that dream, lane, and they don't realize how tough it is at that level.
Oh, there's no doubt in terms of talent level. When I look at the athletes there versus football, soccer, you name any other sport, I know John Saunders said, wait a minute, what about hockey? I think the greatest athletes are agility, mobility, quickness. When you see Kevin Garnett at 6'10", do what he can do. You see guys like Kobe Bryant and watch what they can do, and Vincent Carter. It just amazes you.
Absolutely. Time permitting now, stay tuned for the UBS Payne Weber postgame report. John Saunders and Digger Phelps. Man, do you think the Digger was watching that 4 overtime game between the Fighting Irish and Georgetown today?
That's probably reminiscent of the days he was down there at Notre Dame getting some of those big wins. Michael Bray, wait till he gets a kid next year by the name of Torrin Francis at 6'10".
You told me about him earlier.
Oh, yeah. When he hooks up with Chris Thomas, what a combination. Thomas's sister, by the way, goes out with Jared Jeffries. Hey, a little scoop now. See, I'm becoming an awesome columnist in the world of sports.
Williams and one. I have a question for you now. This comes to mind here, sir. We got 5:22.
Take him out
the
of the
bench
lineup.
doesn't get
Take him
many
out.
minutes over
Take him
there.
out.
You're up 86-54. Do you call the dogs off, or do you say, well, let's keep the pedal to the metal here? What do you do in this situation?
Well, I think what he does, because he likes to get his kids really familiar with their delay game at the end, he doesn't pour it on like he did against North Carolina, but he goes to that delay motion game and runs and gets a little practice session involved and how to handle that for that close game that they're going to be involved in when it comes tournament time. But, you know, saying that, they won every tournament game last year by double figures.
Double digits. You have to tell me, my friends, Williams now with 28 and foul called against Tech. I believe it was Clarence Moore over there.
Come on, Coach. You got to get those guys out of the lineup right now. Get all those kids on the bench in. Come on, Coach K. Put in Collins and Wojciechowski. Put them in the lineup. I mean, right now, put me in. Put me in.
Moore has fouled out of the game. So he's gone. Let's see if we could get Vital, Dennis Scott, Kenny Anderson. I think I saw Corey Maggette early. We can run him in. And didn't somebody say William Avery was around here?
Hey, what about like shooting before the game?
Very good. You had 8 of 10 for the free throw line.
Mr. Maggette.
Maggette is here.
He's doing a good job with the Clippers. What good young talent they have. I'll tell you, no matter how good Tyson Chandler looked in that game, I simply say to you, and I will not back down from it, I would take Brandon Battier. Brandon Battier long-term over any combination. When you think about young players, why would you give up Elton Brand? I don't understand.
Added to the All-Star team when Shaq was on. And, you know, some people are wondering if Shaq is on a holiday, but no, there's some concern about that foot, the bone down there. You can just imagine how much power and force he brings on that foot when he comes down to the floor.
That's the most expensive toe in America.
Isn't that the truth? There's Muhammad now. And they're yanked down by the Blue Devils, who are closing in 89-54. So I guess I've got 2 questions. Is Williams going to get his 30? He's sitting on 28. Dunleavy with 23. And is Duke going to get its 100?
They're running that motion game right now that I talked about. Foul line extended.
Yeah.
See this right here. They're trying to run that motion game, try to get some timing out of it. That's the decision he does himself. He really likes to put him in a game situation. And since they've been blowing people up, they have made a commitment. And I'll tell you, I saw no problem with him trying to fire up the crowd after the Florida State game. I mean,
I thought he was going to go ahead, and it was just off the mark a little bit as the shot clock running down, and in the backcourt, Duhan jumped Akins and fouled him.
Even Paul Ewing told me on the phone this week, he said, you know, Mike and I had a conversation. He said he was trying to be a leader for his team.
Jason Williams is out, Dick. Andre Buckner just replaced him to I didn't want to interrupt you, but a wonderful ovation for number 22. He certainly is headed for the National College Player of the Year award. I don't think there can be any argument with that. He is a big leader in that. He had 28 points today. He had 8 assists. He was his usual smooth self.
And for you young kids that are watching Jason and who like his game, let me let you know this as well. He's a 3.5 student, and he will graduate from Duke University, one of the great schools academically, private schools in America. He will graduate in 3 years plus a summer session. So his priorities are totally in order.
Yeah, let's applaud Krzyzewski and Duke for encouraging these youngsters to do it in 3 years. When you know, let's keep them for 3 years and then turn them to the NBA with a degree.
Well, see, now you can. The NCAA allows you to bring kids before their freshman season starts, where they can go in and take classes prior to the start of their freshman to get a little acclimated to college life. And what a class he has coming in next year. He was telling us today with Dockery, Williams, and Randolph.
Duhan's going to give it up, and here's Dunleavy's three.
Too wide open. Yeah. He was thinking about it. He hesitated. It was too wide open. I tell you, though, I like Nelson, Muhammad, and Elder, Schencher. They got some good-looking young kids, Paul Ewing, to build on here at Georgia Tech. They just ran into a team that's so special when we look at Duke. They are. You know, I know people get on me about praising Duke, but let me ask my partner, a man I respect so much. I've followed your career for years, and you know I feel that way. I mean, what is there not to praise about this team?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're sitting here, it's 89-56. Why wouldn't you praise them? You see so many of their great games, their great performances. They recruit fine youngsters. They're a pleasure to be around. They've got the best coach in the game. Their students are a delight. Yeah, I think I absolutely agree.
You know, I'm not going to apologize for that. I mean, I think it's ludicrous that anybody would say, credit to Mickey Krzyzewski standing up. She's a fine assistant coach sitting behind her hubby. I'll tell you what I love about Mike is what he does with John Saunders and all of us with the Jimmy V Foundation.
3:44 to go, and Duke winning easily.
Dennis, got a great deal for you. You sitting down? A potato chip ad, $1 million.
Not interested.
Dennis, I just talked to the chip people, and because you're you, they say $2 million.
What did I just say, Sam?
No, I know, right, sorry. I got them up to 2.5 mil, and there's no eating of the chips. You look at them.
For the last time, I don't do ads, all right?
No, and you shouldn't.
And that's final.
That I know, you're right.
Done.
Exactly. I'll tell them, maybe.
It's been said, men tend to communicate shoulder to shoulder. If that's the case, these guys are saying, let's change the world. Let's make a difference. Let's act as we are called. The Knights of Columbus, in service to one, and service to all.
Sleeping bag for his first sleepover, $40. Backpack, $18.
Sorry about that. Hey, buddy, you couldn't sleep, huh?
Walkie-talkies, $25. Going home, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted for everything that makes home, home.
Most people don't realize the toll that anchoring the show takes on the human body. You know, these guys really can't afford to miss a show. So they're always pressuring me to give them a boost. All right, do you want Fred or Barney?
I'll take both. Give me some Dino, too. Come on.
All right. Well, it can be pretty ugly. This is your esophagus. This is your ballpoint pen. This is the 9th time. Most of these guys have maybe 20, 30 good years. 40 tops. You gotta keep the pen away from your mouth. What are we doing here?
I know.
Oahu is the setting for a matchup of NFL dream teams. Football's megastars meet at the NFL Pro Bowl, next here on ABC. Aloha.
Duke's big three of Williams, Boozer, and Dunleavy outscoring the entire Georgia Tech team here today, 62-58.
I'll tell you one thing, if you got to pick the top 10 players in America, there is no way in the world you can leave 3 of those kids off. You have to have Boozer in the mix as well. I mean, he has become just a sensational player on the inside.
Ewing's 3-ball, good.
That's why Mike likes him. This kid's got great potential. He played in such a winning environment, has such a winning mentality. I believe he lost 1 game in 2 years of high school.
Lewis Rebound. Got it back. Muhammad, but a big 7-footer, Luke Schencher. He's only a freshman, so he'll be here for a while.
He's got to get stronger physically. I remember conditioning right now, a little problem coming back from that foot injury. Played all summer.
Well, we got a moment here, Dick, so let's go coast to coast with you.
Oh, wow. Well, we talk about Oregon, Brent. What a team. Just lost an unbelievable heartbreaker right now. They're tied for first with Arizona. The question with Kansas, can they beat Duke? Let me tell you something right now. There's no doubt if they played to their best, they'd have a great shot. But I think the difference in the game would be Jason Williams, because I believe he goes to another level in those kind of games. He just elevates himself. And tomorrow we got Miami. If you were talking National Coach of the Year today, obviously Bobby Knight for the way he's resurrected that program. Ben Holland, the job he has done at Pittsburgh. Jimmy Herrick at Georgia has been sensational. But our guy tomorrow, Perry Clark, would be in the mix. He has interchangeable parts. You're going to like the kid, John Salmons, at about 6'8", plays the point, and he can play any 4 positions on the front.
You don't mind if I nominate Krzyzewski to be included in that, too?
You're right. That's a good point. Because guys like Mike, and when Dean Smith was on top of the world, automatically, because it's expected, they don't get the recognition. It's supposed to be, well, it's accepted. Look at the cast here. They look like funeral directors down there sitting on that sideline with the way their suits are. Look at them right there. But there's no morgue there, baby. There's nothing but happiness in the Duke family.
Jason is teasing Horvath over the air ball at the free throw line. You can enjoy a light moment when you're up 33, 93 to 60.
But isn't it nice that you don't see a superstar on a sideline, pouting and sulking because maybe he's not getting all the minutes, but he's involved with his teammates who come off the bench. That to me is a genuine winner.
McHenry stays with it. And ball finally went out of bounds, and it belongs to Duke. And it's a reminder now coming up next. Well, we've got the stars like Tom Brady, Donovan McNabb, AFC, NFC Pro Bowl. That'll be headed your way next, right here on ABC. Always fun, and I think I heard Al Michaels say that a lot of players and coaches were mic'd, which will add a little element to that game. And because, the fellows can't blitz, and no one really wants to get hurt. But there's always some entertainment, and it usually comes down to the last quarter, as I recall. It stays pretty close. And I can remember years when the losing team of the Super Bowl would win the Pro Bowl. So maybe that's reason enough to like the NFC. I know nothing about the two teams, so I mean, to tell you the truth, there were so many changes and so many of the fellows had to pull out because of injuries. So we're inside of 2 minutes now. Duke leading it. 93 to 60.
A guy that we haven't spoken a lot about, tied for first in that Pac-10, Lute Olson. I mean, you think about what he lost last year, losing Arenas, losing Richard Jefferson, Lauren Woods graduates, Michael Wright, and here he is, got him tied for first place in the conference.
Dick, that reminds me, I watched Richard Jefferson a couple of times with the Nets. He's impressive. A lot better than I thought he was.
Oh, he's explosive.
Yes, he is very explosive.
Very explosive, and he's with the perfect guy to play with in Jason Kidd. I really mean that. Hey, guys, I was only joking earlier about doing an audition for the NBA because I want to stay right here. In college, my man is a man of many hats, but I want to stay at my one game. And you know what? Nobody's offered me a chance to go there anyway.
These kids would miss you, man. You are their favorite.
I love college. I had so much fun with Paul's posse before the game here. Can't wait to go to Cameron Indoor Stadium on Thursday, tomorrow at the Connie Forum.
Do you think we can give Duke the victory? I think we can, folks. That will make them 10-1 in the ACC. And the Tech's 3-game winning streak comes to an end. They will slip to 3-8 and 10-14. And well, the NIT is going to invite everybody who doesn't make the NCAA field.
Let me just say this with Wake Forest. I don't want to take anything away from Cincinnati in their win today, but they played without Josh Howard, and he is a vital part of that team. Josh Howard is a big-time player.
Well, Dick, maybe you can track down one of the Duke stars at the end of the game. Maybe we can check in with John Saunders and Digger back in our studio. Maybe we can have a couple of moments here, see what's going on.
Well, John and Digger should get in the car, drive from Bristol up to Boston, meet us up there for dinner, and Digger bring the check because he hasn't paid for a dinner since I know him now 20 years. He never reaches down. He's got the shortest arms and deepest pockets in the history of television.
Man, you covered it both ways. You've got our producer, now you've got Digger, and Duke raining 3 from Ewing and no good. And Reggie Love having trouble with Schencher. That size.
I like Schencher.
I know you liked him right away.
I like Schencher, I like Muhammad, and I like Nelson, and I like Elder. I like their young players.
And a bad pass from Ewing. Schencher.
Watch Muhammad. He can explode.
Muhammad goes up to the top, and the big fella, Christensen, right there to meet him. Matt Christensen, the 6'10 senior from Belmont, Mass, met him.
He's been here about 6-7 years, that dude. That's Christensen right there, yeah, with a Mormon mission. There's the kick out. Muhammad, a tremendous athlete. I mean, very explosive. They got to build off their 3 previous games, those blowouts, those routes, and you take the Duke game, you just say, you know what, get it off the schedule. Let's not see them again. Let's hope we don't have to see them again in an ACC tournament unless we get lucky and get to the final.
Charlotte is the host city for the ACC tournament. It was here in Atlanta, which was sort of a preview of the Final Four, which will be played here in Atlanta this year. And Muhammad misses again.
You and I walked out after meeting with Paul Ewing, and what did we both say simultaneously? We looked at each other and we said, star. Gonna be a star. He just has a certain look, a certain way, a certain communication skill with his players, knowledge. He is going to be a special guy in the coaching fraternity.
Tough loss for the Georgia Tech program here today, but they'll get over it. There's going to be other teams that are going to be massacred by this bunch. Reggie Love has it rejected again by Schencher.
Look at Love, what an athlete working on the inside. Can you imagine? You talk about going from up to down. How do you handle playing on a football team that hasn't won a game in 2 years, and then you come to a basketball team that makes it up? I mean. Let me ask you this, Brent, and again, I have such respect for your knowledge of all sports. Why is it that a school like Duke cannot compete in football?
You know, I don't know the specifics of the program, Dick, but generally speaking, you've got to make a commitment from the top down, and that means the president of the university, they've got such a commitment to basketball at that school. I don't know about their facilities, how they rank. Obviously, it'd be very difficult to compete with the Florida States, but you would think now Steve Spurrier was able to go in there.
He won the ACC title.
He was able to win. And you would think that there would be enough youngsters like Stanford and Northwestern that would make Duke competitive.
I thought one of the great lines as you see Schencher make that label. A buddy of yours, I'm sure you know him really well, Hubert Meisel, fine journalist. He said, let me tell you what Spurrier did by winning the championship in the ACC in football. He said that would be the same as putting Warren Sapp on a Clydesdale and win the Kentucky Derby.
That was a great line.
That's a super line. Well, it was all Duke, my friends. All Duke.
22-1. 10-1 in the ACC, and a very gentlemanly handshake. Remember, there was some stories written about the fact that Mike had really grabbed that hand over a tough physical game in Durham. But today, the two have talked on the phone since that meeting, and Duke has it, and they win it. So ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. Now let's send it to John Saunders and Digger Phelps back in our studios. Take it away, John.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. And Digger, we talked about it at the outset that the only way Duke was going to lose this game is if they didn't come out playing to their level. Mike Krzyzewski, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you've been a head coach in this, he looks more dedicated this year round than I ever have seen him. He feels this is a special team and they can do special things.
Well, I think they really want to repeat. You know, you get last year's team, you take away Nate James, Shane Batty, and everybody says, all right, well, here they are, and this is why. The loss to Florida State, you can say what you want. Sometimes you need to get your kids refocused to what your real mission is. Their mission is to repeat as national champions. In order to do that, as we're seeing now in the ACC, you can't take any game lightly, especially on the road. And what happened is we saw the first 14 minutes of this game, after they only scored 27 points in the first half Against Florida State at home the other night, they came out and went on that 20-7 run before halftime to wrap this thing up before the second half even started. And that's what I love about Duke. It's their defensive intensity, but Coach K's commitment to repeat and getting these kids to know they can do it.
Commitment for the players as well, because last year he wanted to win for Shane Battier. Don't forget, this will be the final season at Duke for Jason Williams, even though he is just a junior. Want to remind you that coming up at the bottom of the hour, we turn to the National Football League's AFC, NFC Pro Bowl game from Hawaii. Dan Fouts alongside of Al Michaels. That one is coming up. But in the meantime, we got plenty of days of scores and highlights, some wild finishes, and a great performance again by Steve Logan.
So what do you play? Tenor sax. I play a bad guitar myself. Yeah? I mean bad in the bad sense.